Okay, before we start this lesson, let's go ahead and tune up. So here's an E, a buzzing E, A, D, G, B, and finally an E. Okay, first thing you wanted to do was, let's see, it was a Vince Gill type of song, so I'll just kind of play a little bit of the song and then I'll break down the signature licks of it, and then we'll move on to the next one. So the song kind of goes like this. So that first thing slowed way down. Something like that. Many of these songs are going to have that same type of riff to it. So that lick is where you're hammering on from the 5th fret to the 6th fret on the G string, A string open twice. So that is a double stop basically on the 7th fret of the D and G. And then you're doing that hammer on. And then hitting the A string again. Okay? And that's just a wiry. Okay, so that's the basic rhythm part of the song. And the chords, you can figure the chords out on it. Now the guitar solo starts in the key of A, and then it works up to a C, and then it works up to the D, and then back to the A. So, and it does that twice. After it does that, then it comes back to the A and finishes it out in A. So I'm going to go ahead and play this thing, the solo. Okay, so I'm going to play that and then go right into the solo. Something very similar to that. Slowing that way, way down. You're starting your bend on the 4th fret of the G string, and then you're hitting the 2nd fret on the B string. Okay. That's the first part. Lots of roll off open string stuff. So that last little part. Okay. So that's the first part. And then when you come up to the C, that right there, that first part, pretty classic lick that you can use in anything. And then up to the D. Some variation on it anyway. And then the next time you come around to, I mean, you can play all kinds of. I think I threw that in there on the first pass. And then, but the second time you come up to that C, you're coming up to the 10th fret, or the sorry about that, the 8th fret. Okay. And then so that first part, and then you're splitting the strings. It's the 11th fret on the G, 10th fret on the E. Drop that down 2 notes, 2 frets I mean, and then 7th fret, G and E strings, 6th fret, 5th fret. So, and the very end of it is a pedal steel type of riff that that's a bend up from the 12th fret on the B string, and then you play the E string and then back to the B and release it. 10th fret on the E string. Okay? So that's the gist of the lick. It's you actually do that twice, and then what I do after that is I slide that down. Okay? So again, that's so you're kind of doing a lot of 7th licks that are in like an A7. Now at the end of the song you can do the same type of thing because you're going to be going over the C. Let me just break that one down. I'm sliding up from the 2nd fret on the A string and the 1st fret on the D string. Sliding that up a half step, and then 5th fret on the A string, 3rd fret on the D string. Sliding that up, or picking the first one and sliding the last one. And in between there, I'm hitting the E as a anchor. So you hear that E note in there. And then you can keep going on with that. Okay, same type of thing. And then come back down however you want. So let me play that fast again. Okay. And probably coming back down to the D, you can do that. Or instead of doing that, you could go something like that. Some twisted way of doing it. There's numerous things you can do to it. And you'll keep on going through that progression, you know. And then back up. Yeah, that was kind of twisted and it didn't really work, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, at the end of the song, you can go. Seen a lot of people end it like that, or so it's one way of doing it. Okay, so that's pretty much that song. We'll go ahead and move on to the next one. Give me just a moment. I'm going to have to get up and turn this tape off. Okay, here's another lick, a very popular song. I'll just kind of go through a couple of the licks. I'll do the intro lick and kind of show you that in case you don't know it. It's in D. closer. Gotta yank on strings every once in a while. Pull them back in. So that lick right there is one more time, real slow. So you're starting with the B and G strings. So you're starting with a D7th. And then when you go to the A chord, you can do. So what that is you're hammering on from the first fret to the second fret on the D string while you're playing the G string at the second fret. And then pulling that up. You know. So. So there's a couple of different things you can do in there. You can also throw that G. You can throw that lick in there too, which I'm going to show you a little bit later on in another portion of this lesson from another song that you were asking about. Okay, so let's move on to that Dwight song. I'm not exactly sure how he played this. Pete has some interesting ways of playing things. I'm not sure how he did this, but I'm going to guess that it was pretty close. First I'll do the intro part and you can see kind of where, you know, which song it is and everything. So that's the basic lick, which is so that's the basic riff, and then over the A chord it's just I might throw that in there just for the hell of it, which is I'm hammering onto the B string. I'm playing an A chord like that, and then I'm hammering on the third fret on the B string and the fourth fret on the D string. So that's one way I would do it. Now the solo over an E, if you're playing it in E, what I've always done, I'm not sure if this is correct or not, but what I've always done is bent it up from the D chord. Okay, you're going up to the E chord, but bend them both at the same time. Okay. And then from the G chord up to the A chord. So you're starting at the 12th fret. Which is kind of emulating a slide. I mean, you could probably do it. I don't have a slide handy right here, but you could probably do it with a slide and it would sound... Maybe you did it with a slide, I don't know, but I always learned it like this. So. Let me throw some distortion on here so you can hear what it sounds like with a little bit of grit to it. And then I would always throw some kind of crazy thing in at the end of it. But that other little part there is just... And then back to the... Which is what I would play, or... it depends on if you got a couple of guitar players, because one of them, somebody's doing this. somebody should be definitely be going. And another thing, if you got two guitar players, if one of them is just doing something like, you know, with a little bit of grit on it, or maybe not quite that much grit on it. Anyway, you can always do that AC/DC thing, you know, got one guy on one side of the stage, one guy on the other side of the stage, and one guy's just doing. While the other guy's doing, you know, a counter melody or a counter rhythm part to it, which sounds cool. Anyway, and at the end of that song, I mean, I always just did like. Because you're kind of hanging on the E for a long time, so. As annoying as that is, it works really well. And then you move it on up to, you know, because it's the 14th and 15th fret, 14th fret on the B string, 15 on the E string. You know, and just. And then moving it up, you know. With a little bit of grit to it, you know. And all that stuff is just kind of Stevie Ray Vaughan, bluesy. So that is. So that is a 3rd fret on the E, and then pulling off from the 3rd fret on the B string. Moving on from that stuff, let's get into some Hag type stuff. We got a couple of them. There's one in the key of D. I'm relatively close, but for some reason I must be twisting the hell out of my B string because it keeps going sharp on me, which is really weird. Okay, so a couple of Hag things. This one's in the key of D. I'll do two of them that are relatively close to each other. I think they were on the same album. They were definitely on the same album, and they're relatively close licks. So, so you're starting on the 5 chord. So if you're in the key of D, then your 5 chord is the A chord, right? So 5, 1. So again, it's a pedal steel thing, like. Another way of playing it. So you can always do that bend thing. Those are always kind of cool. Just see. kind of lame. Let me try something else over the key of D for a solo, okay? Okay, so what I was doing at the beginning of that is I was starting it off with a... That's starting at the 8th fret on your E string, 10th fret on your B string, and then bending. You want to bend it from your 9th fret on your G string, but you have it bent, so... And then releasing to your 7th fret. So that's a good pedal steel. And releasing it, okay? And then I think I threw on the... Which is kind of... So there's a few things you can play with in that song. Okay, the next one, same album, same type of song, some of the same actual chops in it. Let's see, this one, we wanted to learn it in A. I don't think it's actually played in A already. I don't know, it might be, but I don't do it in A, but I'll do it in A for this tape. So anyway, kicks on the 5 again. So it's got this. It's a long 5. Okay, so that's how long it hangs on the 5. So 1, 2, 1. Okay, so let me break that down real slow. It's got that pedal steel thing in it again. And then, so 10th fret, E string, 12th fret on the B string, and 11th fret being bent on the G string. So... So you're bending it back up, and then sliding up to that, which is sliding from the 9th fret G string, 11th fret on the D string, up to 11 on G and 12 on D. So, and then ending it with the 7th fret on the G, 9th fret on the D. Okay, and then the next part is the 5th fret on the B string. You're just doing a tick-a-tit, and then bending down. You've got the 7th fret on the B string. You got it bent up, and you're releasing it. And then the same thing on the G string. Okay. So one more time, all together. Now I might play it a little bit faster than that, so I'll just go ahead and play it really like I would do it. Like, okay, yeah. And that would also be the solo, I believe. you could do many variations on the solo. I'll just do something that I would kind of play on the solo, you know. It also depends on if you're just going to play the turnaround. If you're going to play the turnaround, which is what the solo is supposed to be, then you should just play what I showed you. But if you're doing something over a verse, you know, then you might want to just start with this thing. Or you could that'll give you some different ideas that you can use, and some of those things, like the hammer-on thing, you're just hammering on, and then you're playing the D string, 2nd fret, and then moving it up. Okay. Another way you can do it is, so you can throw all of those different licks in. If you have any, you probably already got my other videos. So, I'm not going to go over all those licks again. Okay, let's see. You wanted to learn the lead to this one, but it doesn't really have any lead guitar in it on the record. So I'll just kind of play the melody of it here. So that would be like the melody of a verse. So if you were going to throw a solo in it, then you could just stick to the melody of it. That's something I would probably throw in there, is just, and so you can see my right hand. Where I'm bending that up a half step and then playing the A note on the E string, builds a little tension in there. That's a double bend where you're bending both strings. The G string at the 4th fret, the B string from the 2nd fret, or the 3rd fret. So that's what it is. It's the harmony notes. And you're bending those up a half step and releasing. So there's some cool stuff you can do with that. That's pretty much it for that song too. I mean, there's no lead guitar in it, so you can pretty much throw whatever kind of intro or ending or whatever you want into it. For an intro, I always start that song out just, just straight. Stuff like that, and you can always throw in lots of those. Any licks like that will kind of make it sound pretty cool too. The pedal steel guitar stuff, any pedal steel guitar stuff in that song is going to sound cool. Here's another one. You wanted to learn in E. Let's see. Okay, so key of E. Okay, so it kicks on the 5, and the chords are 1, 2, 3, 4. That's actually the bass part, but you can do it on the guitar if the bass player doesn't know it. So, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's actually the solo too. So one more time. And every time it comes into the chorus and you're doing the when you come up to that 5 chord, you always got to go okay, that thing always comes in. And there's the other signature riff in it. You always have to put that in there, and so then again it comes back to a turnaround. It doesn't really have a guitar solo, it just comes around to a turnaround. So you get the gist of it. Maybe I was doing that wrong. I was always doing it different. Maybe I did that wrong the first time. I don't know. You could do it like that, or maybe put them both together. Or another variation on it. I don't know. I guess I'd have to actually listen to the record and figure it out again, but because I haven't played that in a long time, and I don't even remember how it goes. But this is my version of it, so there you go. Let's see, what else do we have here? You got another one on here that really, it doesn't even have any electric guitar in it. It's in the key of A. It's another Hag tune, but I think that was played on a gut string guitar or just a flat top. But there's a lot of these, all of the signature riffs are in A, over the A, and it's like chromatic stuff. Or not chromatic, but major scale stuff, So there's all kinds of stuff like that in it, but obviously it doesn't sound the same. So let me play a little melody of the chorus for it. If I was going to do a solo, that's probably what I'd play over. I would play it probably a little sweeter. Or something like that, maybe. I don't know. Man, that's, all of these songs, they don't really have a whole lot of guitar in them. The ones that do have a lot of guitar in them, I've already gone over those signature licks. Let's take a break here, and I'll come back. I'll try to find some other stuff that I can throw in here for you. And we'll go from there. All right? Like I said earlier on, these are my interpretations of these songs. So stuff that I heard on the radio, or I had the records a long, long time ago. I haven't played these in a long time, so I can't guarantee everything's going to be note for note of what it's supposed to be. This is just how I would play it, and how I do play it if I'm ever in a situation where I have to play these songs. Here's another one that I end up having to do a lot, or used to have to do all the time. And this one's in the key of D. Pretty close. Okay, this. Hold on a second. I don't know why my B string keeps going sharp, but okay. That first little part there, I'm playing the D chord right there, and then I'm playing the B string at the 10th fret, and just kind of a banjo roll type thing. And playing it down here at the 8th fret. And then hammering on and pulling off. And then bending down from, yeah, it's already bent up, and I'm pulling it down from the, let's see, 12, 15, 17th fret on the B string. And ending up at the 17th fret on the G string, and then, okay, and then going from the 16th fret, bending that down to the 14th fret on the G string. So, and then I'm coming back to that D chord, but I'm doing it up here. That's the way I've always done it. I don't know if that's right or not. And then again, I'm using that same type of lick that I used here, but I'm doing it over the A. And hammering on. And pulling off. So. So that gives you something there. One lick that I always do in that song is when it comes up to the... It always comes up to this stop part. So that right there, that lick, where you come into the B minor. So. just hammering on and rolling the strings. So one more time. And fast, that's, let's see. Okay, so that's, I always do it. It sounds, you know, when you're playing it with a band, it kind of flows a little bit more, but I'll try to run through that thing and make it sound, you know, kind of. Oh, here's another lick that I do. Instead of just doing a, I'll also throw this in. So it's a. Okay, so that lick right there is a banjo roll. So what I'm playing is the 4th fret on the D string, 2nd fret on the G string, 1st fret on the B string. And then I'm releasing the open B down to an open B, and I'm playing the 3rd fret on the D string and still the 2nd fret on the G string. Same lick, same right hand. So. Okay. And then if you can get back to it. And you can do a lot of chromatic things like that in it too. For a solo over that, I would probably start the solo with this. You know, something like that. Let's see. For the actual solo, if I've got another solo, I'll do that. But for the actual solo, it would probably be. That little part right there is so. You know, where I'm playing the. Okay. You know, coming down. And then bending it up from there. And then probably ending it out. You know, something like that. Another thing you could do is, you know, there's always an interesting ending there. So after you're done doing the ending thing, and the drummer's doing his drum roll thing. I like doing that all the time. Let's see, another one. Let's see. Here, this is pretty standard. You probably already know this. E string ring out. So you can always kind of work your way up to it that way too, to the next one. Where I'm doing a sus, suspending the E. I believe that's major, and then it ends up turning minor. I always do that lick in that song too, where I'm bending this up a half step and this up a whole step. That hurts though. And I always do this too, and I'll come up to this note where you would bend it up to that note, and then I'll just bend it a little farther. It's hard to do when you're doing it slow. And I'm probably never going to be able to nail it on here. I'll try it one more time. So there's some interesting things you can do with that too. What's another one that you wanted to do on here? So there's that one here. Sorry about that. There we go. Bending a little too much and you got to retune it. Okay, this one, key of G. That's what you got down here, which I do believe is the right key. It's that's how I play this thing. Not sure if that's correct or not, but starting at the 10th fret, you can go down like that. Play it like that if you want, but I always just do it here because it's easier for me. And then down to 7th, and then 10th fret to the 8th fret. And then so you can get that thing in there too. And that's how I would play the intro, play the solo, and finish that one out. There was a really cool lick that we never went over. I think there's one more working song here. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. The intro to this is pretty straight ahead. It's the timing of it is the weird thing. So you got to count it out. 1, 2, 3. So that timing, 1, 2, 3. That's the main kicker to this thing, is getting the timing of it. Now, everybody plays it different. But I've always done it like this, where I'm kind of on the E string too. Because I'm going for that wiry thing, as wiry as I can possibly get it. And everybody knows the... So again, that intro is just sliding up to the 7th fret on the A string, and then 5th fret to the 7th fret on the D string. So one finger, so you can see where the notes are. Now when I go down to the E, I always do this thing in the E. So I'm just playing an E7th and hammering on so, and then open E and B strings. And that right there is a D7th, and I'm hammering on at the 4th fret on the D string from an open D. So okay, so that's the gist of that. Now the solo part, this is how I play it anyway. Starting at the 9th fret on the G string, 9th fret, 11th fret, and then 10th fret on the B string, and then bending it up from the 12th fret. So again, real slow. Now at the end of the song, the little outro thing is so at speed. Let me just do that little solo part, and then I'll end the song out real quick. 1, 2, 3. And that's it for that one. I do believe that's pretty much what you got here. See if I should even do that. Everybody knows that one. Let me just kind of jam on something here for a minute and kind of work the rest of this segment out, and maybe you can pick something out of it that you like. And if not, then, you know, so be it. I'm not using a B bender on any of this tape right here. I don't see any point in it, but I will slap the B bender guitar. Well, this has got a B bender in it too, but I'll grab my Paisley for the other one and go through the rest of it. So let's see, what should I do? Here's one I do in C. This is a little bit later on And you don't have it on the list, but this is a good one anyway. So you get the basic elements of it. So for a solo over that type of thing, I'd probably go. And let me break some of that down. Try to play it a little slower there. Well, I think I've pretty much covered everything that I can, and a couple other ones that you didn't even ask for on this. But if I didn't cover something, then just let me know, and you know, I'll finish it up. I'll do another one.